Screw it. Screw it.
Screw it.
Screw it. Dun 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 dun
I unplugged this because of the
dun 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 dun. There, that's our intro.
All right, so let me make sure that's off.
Well, we're back.
I hope we're back.
I think we're back. If I can find it on Facebook, because I'm not good at stuff. All right, and I'm going to start a watch party and just see what happens. And
all right, so yeah, this is the Beat Cops Guide. We're back on Facebook. We had a little problem with the sound. Thank you for everybody who told us that. And I hope it was just a simple, stupid ass button that we didn't press. So yeah. So now I'm looking at to see if I can pull it up to make sure we're there's our live. So I'm pulling it up on my phone to see if we're live. There we go.
This has got to be we're probably the most boring podcast ever.
Right.
And
all right. So now you created a watch party. Now tell me what the hell is how do you do the watch party?
so
you're on your
first of all, you're not wearing a watch, so I don't even know why
you're on your
talking about
page,
it.
right?
So I honest to God, I don't know what's going on. I can't find the watch party, and I don't know what happened to it. And I don't know.
Well, do you look for the Beat Cops Guide page?
Well, I started out that way. That's where I was, and now it's gone. And I don't know what to do. I'm so mad. This is so dumb.
And then what do you do? Did you click on the post?
No, I clicked on that post with us on the radio, and then stuff and a thing, and then more stuff and another thing.
Because right now, I can find the post, but I don't see a whole watch party thing.
Well, that's because you have a terrible phone.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so I can't do it anymore either. I don't know what. I hate everything. I do. I hate everything. And now no one's listening.
Well, yeah, because we weren't actually broadcasting anything before, but now we are.
And now my whole page, I can't find. I can't do the. I don't know what's going on.
All right.
I don't.
So we actually did, just because if you're joining us now, you're joining us in the middle of what we had 10 minutes prior to the sound actually working, where we discussed Friday the 13th on a full moon, which was the last night tonight. And Chris is trying to do a watch party, but I don't understand what the hell a watch party is.
It's working, and they can actually hear our stuff on there. So
how'd you do a watch party?
Look, I don't know, Dave. I pushed the button.
How the hell can you spend 10 minutes and not
leave me alone? All right, be nice.
But I figured if you could start it, I could start it on my page too.
No, because I did it by complete accident. I just was pushing buttons. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I'm doing here. Where am I?
If you're listening on the Beat Cops Guide webpage, though, we do have the comments open. I actually have them hooked up to a TV so Chris can see them.
It doesn't mean I can do anything because
he can look at them. He can still kind of read.
I never know what I'm doing.
He can kind of read a little bit. So if you want to leave comments,
I can read it. I can read if you type slow. I can read it.
We were having a weird buzz, so the phone number, even though it's up there, the phone right now isn't working. Which, if so leave your comments and I'll figure out the phone for next week. All right. So I'm David Haynes, Chicago Police Lieutenant. That's Bull Garlington, an award-winning shoe wearer.
I do. I get awards for how well I wear shoes. I'm well shod, and
he won the Golden Bunyan last year.
It was, I thought my speech deserved a lot more applause than it got, and I don't know what's going on with those people.
Everybody was clapping with their feet. It was actually a standing ovation.
It was a stomping ovation. It's really political with the National Bunyan Association, and I should probably quit. So, we have to start over completely from all the stuff we started before.
Well, we're not going to repeat everything we said before because
no one heard us. No one can hear anything we said.
Oh, that's right. We didn't even record it for the website, but.
You know what? Can they hear us now? If you can hear what I'm saying, Larry Saladin and Jonathan Goff and Tom Ryan and Junebug Killings Murphy and Catherine Kiger and Herbert Lindbergh and Patrick Green, type something. And J.D. Dizzle, type something and say, yes, I can hear you.
Oh, all right, here. So I got you here hosting a watch party.
Yeah. Anyway.
I can't join.
Should we go back? Should we talk about the Roomba? Should I go back that far? Or should we just go straight to food?
Let's go. Let's go straight to food. Although I do want to talk about, a couple of weeks ago we had Bob Surratt on the podcast, and
a guy who's on the Real Radio. You got to turn that down. I can hear my own voice.
That's not me. It's you. I'm mute.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how to mute it.
All right, so I don't know how you share this. All right, so I'm trying to share this watch party. I don't know what.
Well, okay.
All right, so there's a watch party comments and stuff. All right, so Robert Feeder, who's a columnist, used to be with the Sun-Times, used to be with the Tribune. Now he does his own podcast. He's the radio commentator in Chicago, and he finds out everything. He did say, and we had heard prior to that there might be something after the new year. He said that Bob Surratt's in talks with WGN to be on.
Oh, man.
So, should, I'm only repeating Bob Feeder. I don't have any other information other than his column. So
we should definitely weasel our way in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We got people from all over the United States in the watch party.
All right. So
there we go.
They can leave comments in the watch party.
Let's start with what we're smoking.
Okay, let's start. Go ahead. Well, I'm smoking a Deep Red tobacco. That's the name of the tobacco that I got from Big Mike Cigars in my American Bald Eagle brand new pipe that I originally bought for Chris for Christmas.
I'm showing them the pipe.
What?
I'm showing them the pipe.
Oh. That I
That's
originally.
my
How
pipe.
do you do that?
I don't know. My camera's on. Look, here's the thing. All right. The pipe that you guys just saw, this pipe right here, okay, that's my pipe. It's supposed to be my pipe.
Supposed to be.
Because Dave bought it several weeks ago as a Christmas present for me, and then he thought, that's a nice pipe.
Yeah.
And now he's smoking it, and you're a terrible person.
Yeah, I am. I admit it. Everybody tells me so.
This beautiful pipe, which is filled with this amazing tobacco, BB 1938. BB stands for baby's bottom because it's supposed to be smooth as a baby's bottom. I've never smoked a baby's bottom. I don't have a comparison, but I assume they're correct. I think they probably did research. So,
all right.
It's Friday the 13th. I bought a Roomba because every Christmas I don't buy stuff for other people. My wife and I buy things for ourselves and give everybody $20 because we're old and cranky. We don't care anymore. Screw it. I hate Christmas. My wife loves Christmas. She went a little crazy this year with the lights. They're digital and she has remote controls. And I don't know, man. You can see our house from space.
Does she change it while she's at work when she's not even home?
If she could, she would. But no. Although now I wonder if I can set my Roomba off from home.
Well, you probably could. Wait a minute.
I mean, it's on my app. Huh?
You turn it off?
No, it's never off, but you have an app on your phone, and I wonder if I hit that app right now, if my Roomba would start up and go around vacuuming.
Well, isn't it vacuuming all the
camera
time when you're not there?
Yeah, it's got its own schedule, I guess. I haven't set up a time for it, so I don't know when it's going to go.
Is it noisy?
You can hear it. I wouldn't call it noisy until it backs up to its, because we got the one that empties its own waste. When it backs up into its, I'm just going to say it the way I feel it. When it backs up to its own shitter and then it shits out all the stuff it vacuumed up, it's pretty noisy and it scared me. And I don't know what it's going to be like if it does it like 3 o'clock in the morning, if that's going to wake me up. But
it'll probably sound like a police siren.
What I'm going to do.
If anybody didn't catch it, I'm going to be outside his house at 3 in the morning with my siren on.
Which was not the first time.
Yeah. You know what, though? When I drive by your house and I flash my spotlight into your living room, nobody ever comes to look at the window. What is that all about?
Because we're asleep.
The TV's on.
Oh, because I can't tell that you're doing it.
I'm lighting up your whole house.
I don't know, man. What are you doing coming by my house flashing? Why are you doing that? I pay your salary out of my taxes. You're not supposed to be driving by shining a light in my goddamn house.
If I drive by,
who is your superior officer?
You leave the window open and you're watching like True Blood or something with all the sex scenes going on.
Well, I mean,
that's
because there's children across the street from us, and I want to provide them with sexual education.
I see the TV on. I'm like, oh, Chris is awake. I'll say hello, and I shine the light on, and nobody comes.
How many times have you come to my house and hit the whoop whoop button?
Well, I've never done that because it really the only time I go over there is like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I don't want to wake your neighbors up.
Yeah, just me. So I have friends that don't understand sleep, like you, and I have another friend of mine. He gets up at 4 a.m. and he goes as Timothy Bernardi. I don't know if he's listening right now, but he works in Orlando at Walt Disney World, and he is a construction safety manager. And he's up at 4 a.m. to go do stuff, and he'll text me like I'm not asleep or something.
Well, but if
you do too, by the way. You text me like
that's
4
because
in the morning.
half the time you answer it at 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah, because it goes ding, and I'm like, oh my God, something's happening, and I leap out of bed.
Let me see your phone.
No,
you don't have to give it to me. Just
what are you
turn
going to do?
I just want to see, because my phone has buttons on the side that reduce the level of the beeping sound in the middle of the night when you're sleeping.
But what if somebody had to reach me?
Well, you can set it up so the people that you would want to.
You're one of those people. You're on my short list, right?
Oh, you want to hear a funny? I got a funny cell phone story. I'm making dinner the other day, and I get this
cell phone stories.
My cell phone
Dave
goes
Haynes.
off with this very loud, unusual beeping, not my normal notification beep. And I look at it, it's a message. It's a message. I called 911 emergency services from this location, and there's I couldn't see the map because it was a stupid Apple thing,
That's stupid.
But it from this location, and you're one of the people on my emergency notifications, and it was my father, but it was an emergency note.
Did your dad call 911 or did Dad butt dial 911?
Well, apparently he got a new Apple phone, and there's a button that you can press if you are in an emergency. He didn't know what button that was. He said, all I was trying to do was turn the volume down, and all of a sudden 911 calls me and asks me if I've been in an accident. And he goes, and then I'm getting calls. He got a call from my sisters. He got a call from my stepmother. He's like, yeah, sorry about that. He goes, well, at least now I know that I can get a hold of you this way.
That's really cool. I didn't know it would do that.
Yeah. So I called him up. I go, are you all right? He goes, yeah, I'm at work. I just tried to turn the volume down on my phone. He goes, I still don't know how to do it because I don't know what I hit.
I don't know how to do anything on my phone. I pick up my phone and try to do something, and absolutely nothing works. I can't do anything yet. I can put my phone in my pocket and walk from the living room to the kitchen, and I'll butt dial my mom. I don't know how it happens.
Yeah.
You know, I'll hear my mom's voice in my pocket, like, "Hun, are you butt dialing me again?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, sorry."
Well, you know, I had a problem with my webcam this week, and I have noticed
the one for porn or the one for your yard work.
No, the one that we're sending like for Skype and shit. So I went back to Best Buy because I couldn't figure it out. And I'm sitting there going,
people can hear us in the watch party, by the way.
All right. For 2 days, I'm sitting there figuring out it's got to be a setting. It's just a setting. I got to turn my camera on. It's just not going on. It's not seeing it. I checked the drivers. I checked everything. Everything seems normal, but the camera's not working.
In this segment, we discuss technology and its influence on man's life. Continue, Dave.
Right. So, but here's the thing. Have you noticed this? When you have a problem with a computer or something, and you take it to get it fixed, is it usually something simple that you just fucked up? You just couldn't.
So I've never had to get my computer fixed except one time because I dropped it. My computer works perfectly fine every time.
Every technology you have works perfectly fine, you know.
Because I have Apple stuff, and it all works all the time.
What?
Perfect.
Whatever. Your refrigerator. I don't give a fuck. Any appliance.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll go with the refrigerator.
All right. Because here's the thing. Here's the point I'm making. I'm sorry. But I had this problem with my webcam, and it sort of I brought it to Best Buy, and I'm like, listen, I told the lady, I think it's just a setting. I think that there's something I have to turn on that I can't figure out, and I feel like an idiot, but I don't think it's broken. It's never, you know, and so it brought to light a problem that I think I have. When I have a problem with technology, it's a problem that nobody's ever seen before.
Are you a first-time adopter of problems?
No, problems, yes, not of technology.
Do you think maybe secretly you're a test subject?
That's as good a theory as anything else.
Or do you believe, as Baudrillard told us, that we're living in a simulacrum?
No,
and we're living in the Matrix, and you're just the guy that they run broke tests on. They're like, what happens when this is broke? I don't know. Run it on Dave. And then something of yours breaks, and it's the first time it's ever happened because you're the test subject in the Matrix.
I don't think so. But what's interesting is because I'm always of the opinion that everything that technology does, at some point, somebody thought of. It's a planned, you know, they figured it out. They made these settings this way. And for some reason, I'm always taking stuff to the IT department or the Geek Squad, and it's like, we've never seen that before. And I'm just like, how the hell can everything that I do?
What if that's a customer service thing? What if their trick is to make people feel good? They always say, I never saw that before.
Well, because the first thing she did was she's looking at my computer. I mean, physically looking at around the keyboard and on the sides, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't tell me that there's a physical switch to turn on the webcam. She started laughing. She goes, actually, a lot of laptops have that, and most people don't realize it, and they end up turning it off. But mine did not. Mine was there was a program in it because I bought a gaming computer, and there's a gaming program in my computer that has a setting that shuts off the webcam. It took them a half an hour to figure out where to.
It is a nice computer.
And I mean, same thing with my. I bought an app called Sparko Cam so that we can use a DSLR to put this on Facebook next week. A few bucks, and you hook up the camera. I've used it before on an old computer, and I really like the program, so I bought the upgrade and I hooked it up. My camera won't work on the computer. They can't figure it out. I've been going back and forth for 2 days, checking all the settings, and they cannot figure out why my camera doesn't work. I have a Nikon camera on a basic Windows laptop.
Thank you for joining us this week in another episode of Old Men Bitching About Technology.
Get off my lawn.
I can't get my phone to attach to my garbage disposal so I can take pictures of my yard.
We had to get off my lawn moment last week.
We being whom?
In the neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah.
You actually had to tell someone to get off your lawn?
Not me. And he didn't. There was two old guys who told some drunk to get off their lawn, but the second guy ended up going in the backyard to get off my back lawn, which prompted
the hell?
The drunk to scream, curse, and run at the old guy who then produced a weapon. And
well, there you go.
Well, you know, and when you have situations like that, nobody was hurt, everybody was fine, but you know, I had somebody come in and be like, "Okay, well, we got to lock him up," and then they get to me, lock him up for what?
Yeah.
For
standing his ground.
Wait, you're locking up the drunk for trespassing? Well, yeah, him too, but the other guy for what? For firing a shot. I said, you telling me that a 67-year-old man in his backyard has somebody come in the dark and coming at him and threatening to kill him, and he fired a shot and missed? You're going to arrest him? How the fuck do you work that out?
Yeah, but wait, you're not allowed to fire them in your backyard like that unless they're in your house.
No, it's not in your house. It's on your property.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to shoot some people then. So I don't have a gun. I'm going to get a gun.
I said, you know, I could be wrong. I'm not, you know,
I mean, you're a cop. Why should you be accurate?
Run it by the detectives and the state's attorney. The detectives laughed, and the state's attorney said, no, we're not prosecuting that. So I'm like, yeah, I thought so.
Do we need to go back and visit our other topic about the police officer and his companion?
No, I don't think so. Well, if you want to, because that wasn't on that didn't get through, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Chris, who's always on the lookout for BCLE stories, if you have any,
I have several Google searches.
And
well, that's not the one you want to send it to. You want to send it Frisky Puppy at furry.fur. And then I'll get that. And yeah, so no, there was a story out of Florida about a canine patrol officer who was removed from his position and arrested because he had apparently had several relationships with more than one police canine whose pictures they put on their website.
Yeah,
which I think that's weird.
Right, you would not put the picture of a sexual assault victim, and I think that these dogs. I mean, one of the dogs was his actual police dog.
Yeah, and
which means he had a subordinate supervisor relationship, which means that dog could not consent, and then putting the picture of somebody who could not consent to this. I mean, it's sexual assault.
It is. I mean, he Weinstein that dog,
and putting their picture on the internet for all the public to see and have them be shamed.
You know what it is?
Yeah,
it's victim shaming.
It's victim shaming.
It is. But here's the weird thing about the picture of the dog: they look really happy.
Well, you know, it's because of the way the shape of their mouth is. It has nothing to do with.
I guess so. I want to know how they found out. Like, how did they find out the guy was having a relationship with his dog? Here's what I think happened. All right, police officer's at home. He's with the dog. Another police officer comes over to pick him up to go to work or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, can I grab something to eat?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." It's in the cabinet. He opens the cabinet. There's like 1,000 jars of peanut butter. And he's like, how come you have so much peanut butter? And the dog just walks over to the guy. And, that's how they found out.
He takes out a jar of peanut butter and the dog just
starts wagging his
runs
tail, takes off his bulletproof vest, grabs a cigarette. That's what happened. Huh. And of course, Florida. Anyway, that's our segment on weird shit that happened this week and old men talking about technology. We move on now to the Beat Cop's Guide to Chicago Eats. Food. Take it away, Dave.
I don't have nothing to say. No, I went to my wife and I were out and we went to the world's largest Starbucks.
I think you should be able to get super giant cups of coffee there.
Well, they actually
like a bucket of coffee.
They're pretty big. Well, first of all right, let's start. We'll go over. First of all, this is the old Crate and Barrel downtown. For reference, if you are a Chicago person, so this is 5 stories, including the roof deck. So
there's a roof deck. It's a Starbucks with a roof deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 5 stories. So you walk in, and the first floor right now it's not. I would personally I would have put a lot more touristy buying stuff. There's a couple counters you can buy mugs and.
They tell me they don't have a gift shop.
Well, they do. They have a couple of them actually. A couple gift areas. They're nothing separated. It's all wide open. But what's cool is the coffee roasting is on the first floor. They actually roast some of their own coffee, including a very nice Hawaii Kona coffee bean. And what they have is the whole 5 stories. There is the tubes that bring the coffee beans down or up or whatever, the vacuum tubes. So it looks artistically cool.
Yeah.
It looks very cool. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, somebody said that their wife went there. Adam Cruz says his wife Rose went there and called him to say, well, I'm leaving. And he goes, why? She goes, well, it's just a Starbucks. Well, it's the world's largest Starbucks, but it's still just a fucking Starbucks.
Well,
it's like saying the world's best hot dog. How good can it be? It can only be as good as a hot dog.
Yeah, but my daughter had the same kind of attitude. And I said, listen, when we went to New York, you demanded that we went to the world's largest M&M store, which all they sold was M&Ms. But it's a touristy thing. It's really not meant for people who live in Chicago to drive downtown to go to the Starbucks. Although they also, it's not like they have all the normal Starbucks stuff, but they also have all the pour over artistic shit. Like if you go to Wrigleyville, next to Wrigley Field, they do those, what are they, the bottle where they do the pour over
the dude and with the
it's kind of a cool way. You actually explained it to me once, but right now you're fucking with me. You explained to me the whole thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
All right, it's like a vacuum tube where they do a pour over, and it's
right, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's good coffee.
Yeah, well,
it's a great way to make coffee.
Yeah, and it looks really cool. So like they have that. They have a section where they do that. They actually make their own gelato on one floor. And
our friend,
a whole bakery thing, and they have the liquor, and our friend Lauren is
Lauren Ritchie, also known as Lauren Parton, one of the best bartenders in Chicago, is bev manager for the liquor thing there at the world's biggest Starbucks, and so she's the one responsible apparently for coming up with Malort Latte, which is against God. I met a dude last night. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings last night, and I was sitting there. I like to sit at the bar and have some wings and watch sports, even though I don't understand sports. I just want to be left. It's a place where I can be completely left alone. I like that. And dude sitting next to me asked me a question, and we got to talk. And he just moved here, and I was like, well, now I was like 3 beers in, and then he bought me a beer, and I'm like, well, now I got to buy him something. So I bought him a shot of Malort. Yes, our friendship was short-lived. I says, now you're from Chicago.
Well, and we did stop and talk to Lauren. Lauren was there when we were there, and she was telling us they have people that moved here to Chicago to specifically work in that Starbucks. I'm talking about people who worked for Starbucks and transferred here from as far away as California to work in this Starbucks. I don't know.
Why don't they know about the weather in Chicago? I bet right now they're regretting the hell out of it.
Soon will know. Yeah, it's been pretty chilly. It was pretty interesting though, but it was funny because my daughter, who is 14, almost, and wants to get a job at Starbucks when she turns 16. I was explaining to her that she's going to have to learn what was apparently the signature word at this Starbucks. See, everywhere we went, everybody asked us,
Frenulum.
no, awesome, thank you. It's all
There you
all
go.
one word.
All
Awesome,
one
thank
word.
you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, they were all these. I'm always weirded out like when you go to Mariano's. Although Mariano's now that Bob Mariano retired, has not as like it used to be. But these are 16-year-old kids who are as helpful as shit, and they remind you of like Stepford kids. You know,
You mean the grocery store Mariano's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like they're all. Are we complaining about kids being good?
well, no, it's just it's more jealousy. It makes me wonder how the hell they managed to do it when I have not been able to do
These
it.
are the kids, if they're walking by, instead of going, get off my lawn, you go, get on my lawn.
Yeah,
Come over here.
helpful,
Nice kid wearing a
polite,
tie.
smile.
Carry my groceries. They're all in a union, too.
Well,
All right, so that ends our segment of
so that-
crazy shit we're going to talk about.
well, no,
Now,
that's Starbucks.
on to food. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're talking about start. Where did you eat this week?
Well, I went to Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
What did you? Didn't you?
I-
or am I? You're just coming up with the list, and then I got to come up with the topics.
Yeah, I did something. Now you do something. That's the way it works.
I did Starbucks.
Okay. I took my wife out to a Michelin-starred restaurant for her birthday.
Which one?
We went to Entente, which is on Sedgwick downtown. And wow.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not going to say how much money we spent, but you could have picked up a ugly used car for the amount of money that we spent. But it's my wife's birthday and she deserves it. And we did the 11 course.
I just to me there's a lot of diminishing returns when you have to spend that much money on food.
It's only the second time I've ever done, fifth or sixth time I've ever done it. And I mean, okay, so I've eaten at the French Laundry. We had the wine pairing at the French Laundry, greatest restaurant in the world. It was somewhat expensive. We went to Madrona Manor, also very expensive, and outside of Healdsburg, California. I've been to the German place in Madrid. Was in the Eating Vincent Price book. That was nice. I went to so I've been. To
I can see. I've
been to a lot. Of
but I
places.
can see when you're on vacation in Europe or California, you're going to high-end restaurant. I can see that, but
It's her birthday. You know. Well, it was 11 courses, and each one was paired with a wine by their sommelier. And I got to tell you, if you're looking for a really cool Michelin-starred restaurant to do their wine pairing in downtown Chicago, freaking go to Entente because it was out of control good. It was delicious, freaking amazing. Like every course, we just all looked at each other and said, what just happened? Because they did a thing that great sommeliers do, and that is that the wine that they paired with the course, it was as if the flavor of that wine was the flavor that finished the flavor profile of the course. It wasn't just the wine was good, it's the wine really belonged in the whole. Yeah. Oh my God, was it amazing? Anyway, that's everything I got.
And how long did you have to make a reservation for a restaurant like that?
And it was, I mean,
A couple days. I mean,
no, our friends made the reservation for us. We went with our friends, and they did it a couple of weeks ago. But I don't know how long you have. I mean, there were only 4 couples in the whole restaurant. It was a Sunday, and so I don't know what Entente is like in that regard. I know, like for the French Laundry, you've got to. It's like getting concert tickets to Lollapalooza. Like you got to have your finger over the buy button, and the tickets go on sale. The little light comes on. You got to hit that button, and you usually get like 3 days away from what you're trying for because 7,000 other people are also buying tickets. So the other time we did that was at True before they closed, and that was the time when before I left, my daughter goes, "Dad, I'm going out with a friend, but I can't find my bank card. Can I borrow a credit card?" I'm like, you know what? All I have is my bank card, but here, I don't need it. Your mom's going to pay. So then my wife is at work, and she goes, you know what? I don't need my purse because Chris is going to pay. And so we go to True, and we spent, again, a used car price of a meal because I used to get some money from a settlement, and I didn't feel that it was fair to use that for practical things because I felt it was death money. It was from my father's estate. And I'm like, I'm never going to use this for anything sensible. I'm only going to use it for stuff that's completely nuts. And so we would make reservations for crazy restaurants. We did True, and we had their caviar tasting, and then like a 10, 15 course wine pairing, and it was also just extraordinary. And our name was printed on the menu. You get your money's worth. It was cool, and it was all right. But after I went to Entente, and I hope they're not listening. On the way home, though, we did go to McDonald's.
Wow.
Yeah, we were hungry. The food was tiny.
Oh,
It was good, man. All right, it was really delicious. But I mean, about 20 minutes after we got in the car to leave, after we left, we were like, "Oh my god, I'm still hungry." And we're on the way home. I was like, "Let's pull into McDonald's." No, it's not about that. It's about the
It's about the
artistry.
taste. I know.
Yeah, it's about the amazingness of it. It's conspicuous spending. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Also went to Rojo Gusano down in Ravenswood. Again, one of my favorite places. You should go there. If you're listening, you should go to Rojo Gusano because they have an incredible mezcal collection, and mezcal is my jam now. But they also serve crickets.
Oh, yeah? I've had crickets before.
Crickets and worms and ants. You can get crickets, worms, or ants. And they have a cocktail that's served with crickets on it. They have another cocktail that's served with worm salt, which is ground up worms and salt and some spices on the rim. But I got to tell you, I was the first time I went there, and the guy was like, "Would you like a cipollini?" That's what they call them, cipollinis. And I'm like, "Sure. What is that?" And he goes, "It's a cricket." I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Come on." And you get dared by the bartender. You got to do it. And I got to tell you, they're tasty.
No, I've had crickets before.
They're crunchy. They're spicy. They're good. Unless you get one that wasn't dried out very well, in which case you taste an actual cricket, and that's gross. But other than that, it's really delicious.
Do you know Cards Against Humanity is starting a restaurant?
It's in Chicago, right?
Yeah, it's going to be where the hell is it? Crap. I'm sorry. I was reading the story about all the upcoming. This is called the Chicago Board Game Cafe at 1965 North Milwaukee. So that's north of North Avenue, but
Sure.
it's in Wicker Park there.
Yeah. I'll go.
Yeah, it's good. So they're gonna have board games, Cards Against Humanity, a bunch
Do you
of
like
board
Cards
games.
Against Humanity?
I don't know. I bought it for my son, but I don't think I've ever played, or I may have looked at the
It's
cards
pretty
a little
good.
bit. It was pretty funny.
We played it recently, and we decided that what we want, it comes with blank cards, so you can write your own responses if you think you're funny. And we just decided the entire game should come blank, and we should write everything. And so we're going to make up Cards Against Humanity blank.
You know what we should do? You know how they on YouTube, one of the big things is the gaming, the people that have their video games are broadcasting, game casting.
Sure.
They're making a lot of
My
money.
son does that.
Yeah, we should do board game casting.
Oh my God. I mean, I know people do D&D casting. All right. There are people that play D&D and they broadcast it, but I thought, you know how Monopoly has all these different styles and everything? I thought of the greatest Monopoly game
What's
you
that?
could have. Monopoly. So instead of, like, you know how Star Wars Monopoly, everything is themed Star Wars?
Right.
And Monopoly, there would be the regular Monopoly board, and then inside that would be another Monopoly board. So you'd be playing Monopoly. It would be the hardest, longest
That's
game.
weird. Yeah,
And it's a good idea, man.
it is. It's a good idea.
Just acknowledge that I'm smart.
It's smart.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
We can't take breaks, can we?
Can
Can I just pee on the floor like your dog did last week? Because, I mean, I could probably hold it, but
we could take a because I didn't
we
have it
can't
set up.
we can't take a break.
But you know what? We're only gonna do it for another, let's see, a few minutes.
Well, we need to talk about, what do we need to talk about?
Local Tourist has Christmas shows in Chicago. If you go to the Local Tourist, they talk about all the different, like the Goodman Theater, always has their traditional Christmas show coming up. I'm going to see a double feature of It's a Wonderful Life and White Christmas at the Music Box Theater with a sing-along in between.
That does
hosted
sound
by
fun.
Santa.
I think I'm going to the same thing.
On Sunday? We'll go out to dinner afterward. There's an Argentinian
There's a whole
steak
bunch of
place.
us going. A whole different group of friends. I have several groups of friends.
Oh.
They don't
Well,
intersect.
fine.
And
Don't come up to me then.
Look, if you see me, don't say anything. All right. These are my classy friends. I don't mix them up with.
Right.
I would introduce you, but you're smoking out of my pipe, so forget it.
The Nutcracker is going on this year.
I married her.
That's Weird Grandma Holiday Extravaganza.
So when I was in Alabama for Thanksgiving, we tried to cram some Christmas in there too. So we watched a Christmas movie, and so instead of It's a Wonderful Life or White Christmas, we watched the Deadpool.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last week actually.
Oh, did we? I'll shut up then.
Um,
I'll stop talking.
we watched. We haven't watched our traditional Christmas viewing of Die Hard, but we did put the Die Hard ornaments that my wife makes up on the tree.
I made a Die Hard ornament for my wife, and I lost it. I made a little like square tube, and then I ganked a picture off the web of Bruce Willis crawling through the air duct.
Yeah, that's what my wife does. Yeah,
and I put it on the back. I was like, I'm so smart, and like everyone has done that apparently. Yeah. So I found a great podcast. Sorry, and I want to turn everybody on to it because we're talking about media now, and I want to do that. I want to talk about an upcoming podcast that Dave doesn't want to help me with. But if Adam Cruz is listening, you know what I'm talking about. But S-Town, you gotta. It's by the people that do This American Life and really? Serial, and it's called S-Town. And I don't know if it's a standalone or if they're going to repeat it. But so this journalist got emails from this guy in a little town in Alabama, and he told him about this huge conspiracy about murder. And, and he calls the guy up and he talks to him, and it just turns out this guy is this weird loner that lives out in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, he fixes antique clocks, and he's got a rose maze, and it sounds like the island of Dr. Moreau or something like that, and he's a completely nutty guy with an accent that sounds like he's from my family. And I mean, I'm going to, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you what happens. And they go through all this investigation. The guy spends just months and months investigating this murder in this little town in Alabama where it's supposedly covered up. And in the end, finds out there was no murder. There was nothing. The guy was just fucking with him the whole time because he was like lonely, and and it was just, you hear the guy, he records himself like going to the library with the guy that called him and going through the microfiches. And the guy's getting weird. And he's like, well, I got to go check the car, and because there's nothing there. There's nothing. And I was like, oh my God, I would lose my mind if that happened to me. Because the guy like flew down to Alabama. And I mean, it's I know where this is, all right? It's southwest of Birmingham. And that is, you are headed into Nowheresville. I mean, you start to hear banjos. Even people in Alabama are like, y'all should not go over there. And the guy, he sounded like Zach Galifianakis was faking a Southern accent. Only he also was a guy, like studied and Thomas Aquinas, and he was really smart, but he was maybe a little bit crazy. He lived with his mother and a bunch of dogs, and that was it. And he didn't have no friends except for these people that gave tattoos, and he would pay for shit in their store, but he wasn't really their friend, and it was just weird. But y'all got to go listen to that thing. And then the next thing is this upcoming. There will be a new podcast by myself, not Dave. Dave doesn't want to be a part of this. Called Fecal Matters. And it's going to be stories about shit. I think the sub headline is going to be Fecal Matters, really shitty stories is what it's going to be. And it's going to be about embarrassing and terrifying and insane stories of when someone was, I don't know, attacked by their own poop, so to speak. When someone had an accident, someone had a moment involving their poop that was legendary. And I think everybody's got a moment. You swear you don't have a moment like that.
No, or I think most people, if they do, they blocked it out. They don't want to.
Why would you block it out? That's inherently human, right? If there's anything that unites everybody on earth, it's the fact that all of us poop. Everybody poops. There's a book about it.
Everybody poops.
Well, I know it's about animals, but we're animals, and there's, I have two absolutely legendary stories about this, and I'm going to reveal them to the world on this podcast. And I've got a couple other people that are going to join. I'm looking
not
for
on
more.
This podcast.
Not on this podcast. No, on Fecal Matters. Whenever I finally put it up there, but I think it's going to be great. And I was hanging out with some guys the other night. Of course, all of them had great stories, but this one guy is French. He's a friend of mine. Is French, and he told a story that didn't fit. All right, and there's no way it's going to go on the broadcast. It was the sickest, most perverted Tinder story. Tinder, the app that I've ever heard. Oh my God. I wish there was some place to broadcast it, because all of us, it went from everyone cracking up to everyone just silently staring at this guy going, it wasn't you, right? He's like, no, it happened to a friend of mine. And I'm like, yeah, I bet it was a friend of yours, buddy. And it was just, there's some twisted mofos out. Thank God that Tinder happened when I was a grown man and not when I was young, because I would have ruined myself with that. I mean, it's like it's like Uber for sex. I mean, I don't know if anybody gets anything done.
You mean if they're on Tinder?
If you're single, I don't know how you have time to work if you can use Tinder all the time. You know, how do you have a life? I mean,
I don't know.
I'd be
I've
tired
never looked
every
at Tinder,
day.
but I mean, it's not
you
like
can't without joining, right?
I don't know. I've never looked at it, but
No.
I mean, the thing is that just because you go on Tinder doesn't mean. I mean, you know what? If I was single, I probably would not use Tinder because I would be afraid that I would go on
Grindr?
Tinder and be like, "No, you're so repulsive that even on
I
Tinder
know.
you can't find anybody."
I mean, I would definitely use someone else's picture. You know,
you can't do that.
I'd use John Hamm's picture and like Photoshop it a little bit, you know, and just that's what I look like. I mean, I used to look like. I mean, that's not me.
All right, wait. There were some other things I had.
Well, we're going to talk about The Expanse, which is now on. All I'm going to say is y'all need to watch that show because that's a good show.
I watched the first couple episodes. I haven't gotten into it.
Oh,
That's
it's
one
so
of those.
good,
Although it looks, I that actress that plays like the head of the United Nations, I always like her.
Yeah, but I can't remember what I've seen her in before. Just play with your phone. It's cool. We're not on the air.
I'm looking for stories.
Yeah. And
All
I
right.
watched The Dirty Dozen. I tried to watch
All right,
Marvelous
wait.
Miss Maisel.
No, don't skip over that. Let's stick with the Dirty Dozen. So you mean the original Dirty
Lee
Dozen?
Marvin, is his name John Kennedy? What's his name?
Which one?
Frick, I don't know how to say it.
It's Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin. And then Sutherland, Donald Sutherland,
Jim Brown,
Telly
Savalas.
Yeah, Telly Savalas and John Cassavetes, and come on, one more guy.
The guy that played the sergeant. I can't remember his name.
Lee Marvin was a sergeant.
No, Lee Marvin was the colonel.
Oh, he's the colonel, right? I don't know who the sergeant is. Who's the action hero that was on there? Oh, come on, man. He did so many terrible action movies in the 70s. He looked like his face was squashed.
I don't remember.
Oh, come on. Anyway, I forgot what a great movie it is. It's a really
it is. It's a fantastic movie. I watched it about a few months ago. I don't know why it came up.
Because it's on Netflix all of a sudden.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, I love The Dirty Dozen. One of the best scenes of any movie was Sleepless in Seattle. Do you remember Sleepless in Seattle? And they started talking about Dirty Dozen as if it was one of those emotional female movies, but for guys. And so Tom Hanks and I can't remember the other guy's name are sitting there describing it, and then by the end of their description, they're just in tears. When he's throwing the grenades.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but it was fun. And it's one of those movies that can't be remade because you need those actors to do it. Charles Bronson. That's the guy I was trying to think of. Charles Bronson's in there.
He made good. I'm trying to look up the.
What was the other one they did though? Like the same guys did another movie where they stole gold. What was that one called? Donald Sutherland was a tank driver.
I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, man, it's like The Dirty Dozen, but it's a different name like that.
I don't remember. I don't remember that movie.
Okay, so then The Marvelous Miss Maisel came on. Have you seen it?
I have not seen the new season.
So I love this show, Marvelous Miss Maisel. I think it's brilliant. I think it's an absolutely brilliant show. I think that the woman that is Miss Maisel, I think she is the female reincarnation of Jack Lemmon. I think she's an absolutely brilliant actress.
I'm sorry. Can we go back to the Dirty Dozen? I want to play
Sure, of course.
that. I'm gonna see if I can play that scene.
Let's hear it.
I got commercial.
Oh, and there's a commercial. Just.
I use Grammarly though.
Okay, Grammarly, leave us alone, man. Does English? Oh no! Should I take a call for my wife while we're on the air? Should I? It's kind of I have to do it, man.
Oh.
I have to.
Kristen,
hey, how you
all
doing? Right. You're on the air, so. Okay, you're not on the air. What's up? No.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Clean.
All right, here. She's talking about Fair to Remember Now. So she's explaining this love story movie.
Should we skip ahead or? Oh man, she's got that great early '90s hair, man.
Yeah.
Oh man,
This is so it's the Sleepless in Seattle. A Fair to Remember versus Dirty Dozen, and all the guys are looking at her like tell this story.
yeah. This should be our other podcast. We should describe movies as we watch them like this.
I didn't realize this clip was so long.
Yeah, it is really long. We still haven't gotten. Is that Meg Ryan?
No.
That's how I look all the time. All right. God, when does it get to the? Skip ahead, man. Skip ahead.
All right,
There you go. Well, all of you people listening right now should be people that write to someone that you've heard on the radio. We've never done this before.
All right. Here we go. Richard Jekyll, that's it.
They're making fun of her, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, turn it off. We should never do that again.
Yeah, that was. I didn't realize how long.
Bad choice of radio broadcasting right there.
I can't keep my pipe lit.
You know, I mean, there's pills for that.
What did your wife want?
She wanted to know if I'd fed the animals and if the dishes in the dishwasher were clean. So, there you go. That's married life.
Yeah.
I have never been on the radio or at a presentation where I'm on stage giving a presentation where my wife has not called me. Every single
To ask any
time.
just pointless questions. I mean,
Just-
when we used to do radio on WJJG, she would call you in the middle of the show.
Yeah, and she knew, like, I would leave and go, okay, I'm going to the radio. She's like, okay, and then she'd call. Like, she forgot. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't get it. These days, I incorporate it into my presentations. Like I say at the beginning, I'll be on stage and I'll go, during this presentation, you guys think this is a setup. It's not. My wife is going to call because she can't remember that I'm at a presentation. So when she does, I'm going to answer the phone. I want all of you people in the audience to go, hi, Colleen. And I do it every time. People love it. Every single time. I have never given a presentation without her calling me in the middle of the presentation. And I give them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 o'clock at night, doesn't matter. She always calls. And it's not on purpose. I thought, this is sabotage. But it's not. She just, I don't know.
Doesn't pay any attention to what's going on
She
in your
needs
life.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you marry a hot wife and they're needy.
All right. So what else we got? We got. I mean, it's Friday the 13th. The president got impeached. So,
Did they finish it? Is he impeached for real?
well, the Judiciary Committee voted it out of the committee, so they're voting full House voting on it on Wednesday.
Well,
So,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mr. President.
Merry Christmas. There. Sal Recchi has joined the room. Sal Recchi was a boss of mine back when I wrote for newspapers.
Hey, listen, they're pulling. There's a story this week. They're pulling the planters out of Madison Avenue. They started to remove the planters. Do you drive down Madison Avenue down by Madison and?
No, never. No.
no?
Can you pull that thing off of there?
Oh, sorry.
I do know this, though, that my father-in-law, he was the guy that signed the order to put those planters in.
Well, those planters were the stupidest idea anybody's ever had.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to tell his family you said that.
Well, I'm
Wait,
sorry,
no, he did the ones on Michigan Avenue.
Michigan's different. It's a huge street, but the ones on State Street, like, really, I mean, they block off. First of all, you can't turn off half the side streets now because these planters are blocking half the street.
You know what I think
And
about
it's like
that?
people are banging into them all the time because they're so close.
He probably did those too. He also was the guy that signed off to let the Blues Brothers drive through that mall.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Did they start tearing down that mall? I think, or something.
I have no idea. I don't even know where that frickin' mall's at. I have no idea about that or anything else really. I think we're done. I think we've finished.
Yeah, we this was a kind of a bad one because we had
Our
some
show fizzles out.
sign problems.
We don't
at
have
the
an ending. It
beginning.
just kind of fades away. One of us dies.
I think we do have an ending. Although you know what, you were supposed to write up some unlicensed sound
I'll work on that.
ins and outs.
I just want to say thank you to all the people in my watch party. Like 35 people listening through that watch party thing. So next week,
serious?
yeah. So next week we're going to try to get you guys onto our actual Facebook page, so Dave can share the joy, and also because I just want to lord over the fact that I have more friends. And
I don't understand this. Well, I'm gonna have to read this because if I could, I would set up a watch party on our page. I don't know how to do that, and obviously you don't know how to do that either. You just accidentally.
Yeah, I just push buttons until
So
something.
can't
I butt
explain
dialed a watch party is what happened.
All right. Maybe we can't do it from our since it's like not a personal page.
Welcome to this episode of Old Men Figuring Out Facebook.
All right. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back next Friday
On OK Boomer.
on the Beat Cops Guide. See you later.